And we are live. Good morning, Crypto Warriors, and welcome back to the Gentleman of Crypto episode. Bitcoin Zay. Here's the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10ish. And we have a great show for you today. Some great news stories. Bitcoin fees crash after daily record average of $128 on halving day. Apple Pay is the benchmark as crypto mobile payments push for adoption. RFK Jr. wants to put the entire U.S. budget on a blockchain, which is our top story for the day. And last but not least, Man City and OKX released limited edition jerseys tied to rare NFTs. So some great news stories for you today. But first, we're going to take a look at our prices. As you know, the halving was last week. I hope everybody had a great halving, a great 420. It's amazing how those two came together with all the memes. And I hope everybody had a good one. But like I said, most of the time, the day of the halving, and the kind of days preceding it and after it are kind of boring. It's pretty much a nothing burger, except for the fact that it's usually a signal that within the next 6 months, we're going to have a lot of price movement. So Bitcoin's price today, $66,218, up 1.9%. Ethereum at $3,195, up 1.5% today. Binance Coin at $596, up 3.8%. Solana at $154 is up 3.6%. XRP sitting at 53 cents is up 1.8%. Dogecoin coming in at number 8 is at 16 cents, up 0.8% on the day. Toncoin sliding out that number 8 spot to number 9 at $1.11 is up 0.23%. Putting out the top 10 at 51 cents, up 3.2%. Cardano people is about to slide out the top 10. Don't let Shiba Inu catch you. There's other ones that are moving up as well. The Fear and Greed Index sitting at 62. Again, a lot of people sitting on their hands. Nobody really committing to going full bull or staying bearish. I've seen mixed signals. I've seen meme coin activity. I've seen people looking at AI projects and things like that. But the greed level is still hanging out here in the middle. A lot of uncertainty right now in the markets. So that is not surprising at all. So let's take a look at some of the people coming in to the show. What's up? What's up? Bitcoin Shango, Laura Smith, KB, Philip Shaw. Phil, my man, I gotta talk to you, brother. I'll hit you up later. Chloe Dior, Wisdom Bars. Let's see, E Devon L and D No ID. What's up? What's up? Good morning on this beautiful Monday, post-halving, the first day of markets, and we've already got some good movement and some great stories. For example, RFK Jr. wants to put the entire U.S. budget on a blockchain, and we've been stating this since the beginning as far as Bitcoin is concerned, and as far as even public-facing blockchains that have open transparency, that at some point we're going to try this, and that the reason blockchain is important is because if you have a blockchain where you have the government's activities being public and our activities being private, then that's a society that works. Right now, it's totally reversed. Everything we do is public. Everything is KYC, AML. Government has to know. We're doing an investigation. We'll audit you. And then we lose trillions of dollars. The Pentagon lost a couple $1 trillion the day before 9/11. We haven't been able to audit the Fed, not once. We've never audited. We don't know how much money is in the world. You have no clue how much money is in Panama, how much is in how much is in Swiss bank accounts, how much is anywhere really. We just kind of have to trust what they tell us, and of course we don't. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a big-time Bitcoin and decentralized tech advocate who has promised to back the U.S. dollar with Bitcoin if elected as president. U.S. presidential candidate RFK Jr. wants to put the entire U.S. budget on the blockchain. Let me go ahead and state this. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who I've met, is not suicidal. He told me himself. So if he does propose this idea, which he did at a Michigan rally on April 21st, he said the move would allow every American to take a look at every budget item any they want, 24 hours a day. We're going to have 300 million eyeballs on our budget, and if somebody is spending $16,000 for a toilet seat, everybody's going to know about it. Now let's discuss that really quick, because this is what I think people who own businesses know this, people who have big nonprofits or large businesses. Within a lot of these budgets, yes, they pay for things that are needed. But let's say, for example, you send a country $1 billion, right? They may really need 900 million of it, right? And they can itemize it and you can show everything. But when you look at the other 100 million and you look at some of the things that they're buying, they are giving themselves per diem food $600 a day, or they're giving themselves transportation $10,000 a week, and they'll give themselves, for example, 16,000 for a toilet seat. That's not even far fetched. People will say we're trying to upgrade our office. Okay, it's going to cost us 16,000 for this toilet seat, and then they'll pay the people who install it 5,000 cash just to keep it quiet, and then they'll keep hiring them as contractors because they can keep it quiet, but then they'll keep the other 11,000 for themselves, right? So we have a lot of these itemized things in the budget that are off. Trust me, all this money that they're spending. I remember we did a story about Virginia where they had a budget for them to introduce blockchain to the government or whatnot. We looked at the itemized budget live here on this show, and we actually showed where they were paying themselves about, I don't know, $250,000 to do research and development, and we're like, me and King could do that over the weekend for 50,000. Like it wouldn't even take that long to find the things necessary to implement blockchain research or the things you need for your budget. However, that's just us being real. And these people who have these budgets, these large budgets, trust me, if you looked through a lot of time, you will be in the streets rioting tomorrow. But most people don't. Most people just see the big number, the headline, and they go with that. But Kennedy's plan would allow transparency and accountability, allowing taxpayers to see where their dollars are spent. The blockchain proposal was lauded by many crypto advocates on social media, where people claimed it would be revolutionary in corruption. User wrote that transparent public accounting might be the best use case for blockchain tech besides the supply chain. Checks and balances in our government doesn't work if the branches are in on the corruption together, President and Congress particularly. It's time the people hold them accountable. Now, I am someone who does believe that blockchain and the public-facing nature of it can work in theory. However, I'm also a very practical man. I do not think that the people who run this country are actually working for us. And I do not think they get their salary from us per se. They do get a salary, but most of their payments, this is why you see people in Congress, they show up with no money and then they leave with $40 million. And you're like, how? I mean, Dianne Feinstein is like top of the line. I mean, they have a stock ticker that follows her investments, and I think it's up like 300% the last few years, just because they somehow have this inside information to earn money. They don't care about what we want. They don't care about putting their dirt on the public blockchain. They really can't. And if you need any more examples, this weekend we just passed a $95 billion budget for Israel, Ukraine, and another country I can't remember. But $95 billion sent to them. You really think they want us to look through in that itemized budget to see what they're spending it on? Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm a practical man. Like I said, in theory, there's a lot of great things that will work. That's why we said that Bitcoin politicians and blockchain advocates, they're going to have to infiltrate these ranks, because it's not going to be the people that's in there now. The people talking about drain the swamp, they are the swamp. They're just using that to get you all riled up, like they're actually going to do something, and nothing gets done. The main thing, the wink, wink, and a gun type thing that they do in DC is that, hey, you don't tell my secret, I won't tell yours. And that's how politics works. That's how most things at high levels work. Is, hey, we got some dirt on you. Hey, we got some dirt on you. All right. Neither one of us say anything, then we'll both be rich. And they usually go for it. And that's the big issue that we have with our government is we're watching people on the House floor wave Ukraine flags. In an American country, we're waving another country's flag in support and celebration of sending money to them. Why? Because we already have evidence that there are certain venture capitalists, certain real estate developers, there are certain business people who are using the Congress to their advantage to receive free money. We've sent over $300 billion to Israel over the past few years. We've sent billions to Ukraine for this war. We've sent billions in aid. Again, I hate the fact that we're sending aid to these countries and we can't really identify what it's for. I mean, nobody here has seen the full budget. The people who have, they're the ones we're trusting. And even though RFK Jr., I believe it's a noble cause, I think it's great that he put it out there that it's possible. But again, a blockchain is only as good as the people who run it. And the only blockchain that is truly decentralized with the nodes and can be fact checked and everything is Bitcoin. So I don't see it, because you still have to do data entry. You still have to put in the numbers into the blockchain. That wouldn't show all the money that's been missing for the last 100, 200 years. So, most of the money, yeah, and PFC Wells, he said it. Yep, it's already said that most of the money will be funneled back to American companies, aka it's a transfer of wealth out of the public into private hands. And for those of you who don't know, if you've never read Confessions of an Economic Hitman, if you've never seen how colonialism works, this is exactly how it works. We send money and aid to a country, and then American companies come in with their construction, with their investment, and they get the lion's share of the profits. The people see nothing. Even when you talk about supporting nonprofits, Red Cross, they go to places like Haiti. The Clintons have already been investigated for this. They've already, I mean, people in Haiti hate the Clintons for this reason. The Red Cross, they send supposedly billions of dollars in aid to Africa, to Haiti, to other places. And then the people are still suffering. They're like, why? Well, look at the itemized list. Oh, the head of the Red Cross is making 1.4 million for this initiative. The assistants are making 70,000. The real estate people who came in and built the houses and came in and installed the water pipes, they're making 200% more than they usually make, because you can inflate. If you ever work with government contracts, you can inflate how much money you need. You should watch this movie called Lord of War, and it's another one. Man, my two guys, I forget, not Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill was in it, and another guy, but they were basically selling arms to the government, and they inflated the prices sky high. Why? Because we have an infinite money printer. If they want something done, they can pay for it. They just print it and give it away. So that's the problem. I think people think when they see these budgets, they think, oh, we're actually helping them. It's like, if you ever see one of these budgets, you'll be pissed off to the point of no return, which I happened to be able to do back in 2008 when I started getting skeptical about the Afghan war and, the war on terror, as they were saying, weapons of mass destruction being fake and all of that. We spent billions doing that. They had everybody riled up. It was like, yeah, we're going to take out the Middle East. We're going to take out. And everybody was all for it. But this is how it works. They send it, and then these American companies go over there and they make all the money. So with RFK, hey, kudos to you for trying. But I can't say that I trust that this is going to happen in the near future. Maybe in the a future where people get mad enough and they're like, hey, we don't accept any leaders. We're burning down houses. We're going to people's front door. We're going to government buildings. We're not approving anything. Everything's getting shut down until we have everything on the blockchain where we can audit it. That's will be the first step. Now, finding all the old money that's been funneled through all other initiatives, hey man, I can't help you. I mean, that's almost impossible. We're talking about maybe 200, 300 years worth of money being funneled ever since some groups were created. That's all I'll say. But yes, and with that being said, Bitcoin fees crash after record daily average of $128 on halving day. The surge in block fees was ridiculous. For those of you who don't know, a lot of the hype around Bitcoin's halving also came with the release of runes, which a lot of people were hyped as a new protocol created by the same guy who created Ordinals, Casey Rodimer. And the surge in block fees on the halving day was more than making up for the half block subsidy miners were hit with, but that's not the case anymore. So the average fees Bitcoin have sharply fallen just a day, record average of $128 on April 20th, the day of the fourth Bitcoin halving. As of April 21st, fees have fallen to an average of $8 to $10 for medium priority transactions, according to mempool.space. So yes, look at this straight line up on 420. The day after halving, you literally had a straight line up in fees. And let's see if we could actually, let's take a look. I'm going to pull this up. So you can all actually see what I mean. It was hilarious. Runes basically took over as far as fees and some of the transactions. Seeing this in real time, if you go to mempool.space and you're able to view the block, let's take a look here. So for some of you who've never seen mempool.space, this is where you can actually see the blocks in action. All right, so block 840,000 was the actual mined. That wasn't the block that I want to focus on. These blocks right here, 1,476 sats per byte, 2,286 sats per byte, 2,892, 2,205, 670. All of if you look, for example, 84, 140,004. This was 4 blocks after the halving, right? The median fee was $200, people. $204 for a median priority signature. There were over 1.5 million in fees collected, more than enough. I mean, look at this this block right here. 5 blocks after the halving, average fee of $258.50 I mean, people don't realize this is why rooms were so hard to mint. People had sent the money at low priority, so people are paying low priority fees, and it's not getting through. And they lost the Bitcoin on it. So I mean, look at that, $195 fees for a medium priority. Imagine trying to send somebody $50 and you got to pay $195 in fees. I mean, good gracious. I've seen a few people saying that they paid somebody who paid like 50,000 to send something crazy along those lines. Don't quote me on that. But when you actually see these blocks get full and you see a lot of people who are paying for the space, this is how Bitcoin's supposed to work. The thing is, the people who are fighting the inscriptions, they got to pay. That's the beauty of Bitcoin is, hey, they can inscribe all they want. They can clog up the chain, but they got to pay and miners get rich. Thing is, if they don't want to pay, you see in one day, it dropped back down to $8, $10 fees. Trust me, the blockchain can stay solvent longer than individuals can. And these miners have way more capital to deploy than individuals who want to mine inscriptions. Sorry for those of you who love inscriptions, who love ordinals. That's fine. Do what you want to do. That's what freedom's about. However, you got to pay for it. And if we're clogging up the blockchain and peer-to-peer, as my man Ray Yusuf has started to state, the CEO of CivKit and of No One's, the peer-to-peer market for somebody who's trying to transact medium of exchange is not great for the global south. The problem is we're still in the store value era. The medium of exchange era, to me, doesn't really start, isn't going to be super popular until we pass the $500,000, $1 million range, because that's when people have enough sats to where they'll be able to transact small amount of sats. I mean, think about Bitcoin at $1 million. 100 sats is $1. So think about people that have 10,000 sats, you know, or people that have 100,000 sats. A million sats right now, I think, costs about $600. So that's what I'm saying. Like, people can actually attain that, and at a certain price of Bitcoin, that's what medium of exchange will become a lot easier. I think we'll also have the technology in place to scale up something maybe just as good as Lightning or better. Federated side chains, stable coins, who knows? Those things will be built. Again, if technology is the problem, then you don't have a problem. We'll just scale up. So let's read some of our comments here. Jake Fever, good morning. Quick show just popped in. 5252. Yeah, ETH was like this all the time, not too long ago. Exactly. Let's see. PFC Wells, if you pay taxes, you fund the gang. Please stop the cap. So we all paying a G for the BS. Yep. In 1913, Congress only had 63 session days. Now in 2024, had 128. We need less government, not more. Let me speak to something like that. If you want to know how nefarious these people are, that bill that they passed, the TikTok bill, was a part of the Ukraine and Israel bill. It was a piece of the legislation. So that was one little nefarious thing. Then they passed another bill in the middle of the night at midnight, where banks were closed and markets couldn't trade. So you had aftermarket hours. In my opinion, if we wanted some sort of fairness, the first level of transparency, you can't vote on anything unless banks are open 9 to 5. You have to do it, because if you're going to be in bed with the bankers, they need to feel the drops and they need to feel the whatever you pass as a bill or the shock in the market. They need to be able to feel that instantly. People need to be able to see, hey, we passed this bill at 2 p.m. What happened to the markets? Why did they crash 11% in one day? Oh, because you just passed a bill sending more money overseas, which you had to print, which devalues the dollar more, and people are losing confidence. So things like that, I think, would be great for some level of transparency that RFK Jr. wants before we even get to the blockchain side of it. Because I don't think most people that's in there now, they're gonna have to die off, or they're gonna have to be voted out or something. You got to wait some time for that to happen. So like Loco said, that's some shady shit. Exactly. Well, I mean, we're talking about how many people know a 70 or 80-year-old who's up at midnight? No, they are asleep. They got their warm milk at 9 p.m. They are gone. I know people, they sleep at 8 p.m. They got their warm milk and they soft and furry socks on. They are asleep. They up at midnight passing this. You can only be doing something nefarious, Grandpa. What you doing up? All these 50, 60, 70-year-olds out there trying to pass stuff at midnight. Y'all doing something. And most people will sleep. Most people didn't see it. Unfortunately for most people, or I should say fortunately for me, I don't sleep much. So I see a lot of stuff that happens even up until, that's just years of being up doing the Asian trading hours between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. So I'm usually up around that time seeing stuff that's happening. And I'm sitting there in shock. Like, when people wake up, they're going to lose their mind. And I'm sitting there like, I'm sitting there like, bro, these people are slick. Because they do this all the time. They pass stuff, nefarious stuff, in the middle of the night. They do it over holiday weekends. They do it during Thanksgiving. They do it when people aren't looking. They do it during the summer when people are on vacation. They pass all this stuff. Trust me, there's nothing open and transparent about these people. They want this stuff to happen. So let's jump into our next story here. Apple Pay is the benchmark as crypto mobile payments push for adoption. I think everybody has started to see the writing is on the wall. Apple Pay, Google Pay, whoever, Samsung Pay, everybody pay. It's so easy to just walk up with your phone and scan now and pay. I love that technology. NFC, near field communication technology, the ability to do that is amazing. I want people to understand, though, that always comes with consequences. So, with that, you have a centralized source who is enabling you to use their product in order to make payments. So they're going to have their rules. And right now, cryptocurrency-based mobile payments must be functional as Apple Pay and Google Pay challenge conventional payment services. This is according to Halio CEO Shin Palman. Oh, man, that's a hell of a name, my boy. A lot of syllables in there. But Jin Palman, CEO of growing crypto payments platform Helio, paints a picture of a sector still in its infancy during a one-on-one interview with Cointelegraph. The CEO and founder said that while Bitcoin and Ethereum are pioneering decentralized blockchain protocols, the base layer of both chains cannot compete with the performance and functionality of traditional financial infrastructure. I think the benchmark is Apple Pay. How are you going to beat Apple Pay? Where I could just tap my phone and I've paid within 3 seconds. And I agree with them there. As far as payments go, Bitcoin is not past Visa, Apple Pay, because they have the advantage of being able to build technology for instant payments. However, it comes with trade-offs. That means it's centralized. That means it can be shut down. That means it can be shut off. That means it's connected to the fiat world. Yes, these trade-offs exist. The problem is they are having the same issue that I've stated with crypto, is that in crypto projects, they'll say, hey, we have more speed. We have NFTs. We have DeFi. We have tokens. And then Bitcoin, the tortoise and the hare, the tortoise slowly catches up and then does the same thing as a crypto project. And then it's on a more secure chain. They don't have to do it anymore. So even though they're ahead right now, if there is a payment solution, this is the reason why I'm starting to teach college kids and high school kids. I believe the payment solution we're looking for instantaneously on a network where it is verified by Bitcoin miners and nodes, that is going to come from somebody that's under the age of 21, in my opinion. It's going to be from some kid. We're not even thinking about it. Some 15-year-old right now is working on the payment solution we're thinking of, and they might not have it for another 7 or 8 years, but it's coming. He says now with the second generation of blockchains like Solana, even though there's a lot of talk of congestion, we actually have the engineering resources to figure it out. There's not a lot of talk about some congestion. That motherfucker is congested. Solana, I've to do tutorials on Solana. I've stopped halfway through simply because the congestion was too bad, or my payments just failed 17 times in a row. And I was like, man, I ain't doing this fucking tutorial. I gave up. And plus, they've shut it down to fix it. So the thing is, there's always trade-offs. Thing is, when the trade-off becomes null and void, meaning, okay, it's decentralized. It's on a decentralized base layer. It's layer 2, meaning that it's actually quick and fast. It can be done with 0 confirmations. When all of that comes, a lot of what people are complaining about with Bitcoin is going to be gone. And the instantaneous payments, near field communication with Bitcoin is coming. I promise you. If it's a technology problem, it's coming. In fact, I would not be surprised if Apple Pay and Google Pay get out in front of this and try to somehow leverage Bitcoin in their payment system or payment rails in order to take advantage of that market share. Because once that happens, again, like I said, I have kids right now. They're very interested in Bitcoin. They're very interested in crypto. They're very interested in smart contracts, coding, and they're 14, 15 years old. I'm telling you, I promise you, in the next 2 or 3 years, I'm going to be teaching the next huge Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, big gigabrain technology person who's going to figure this out. They're going to implement it. And then all of these articles, just like we saw back in 2015, 2017, hey, Bitcoin doesn't have this. Hey, Bitcoin's a pet rock. Hey, and now we got all that shit. So I'm telling you, in a couple of years, you're going to be reading this article laughing like, hey, now we got instantaneous payments. 3 seconds, you can use Bitcoin. Now, we're close as far as utility because you can get Fold Visa card. You can get a card from Coinbase. You can get a card from, I believe, BitRefill. There's a few places where you can get cards where Bitcoin is on it, but it's paid like a debit card, which is pretty close. We're getting there. The thing is, a truly decentralized payment system where it's Bitcoin to Bitcoin, a lot of that has to go through the jungle of regulations and people saying, hey, every event is taxable. And shout out to Senator Cynthia Lummis, who actually said payments with Bitcoin should not be taxable under a certain amount, like 2,000 or 5,000. Under that, you're not taxing payments. What if I live off of this? You mean I got to pay tax on every single payment, and it has to be income tax, not sales tax, because even sales tax I think is wrong. 99% of this taxation is garbage, but even then, you got to pay income tax or capital gains tax on every single pay. That's ridiculous. So we got to figure that out. Of course, there's a technological barrier in the way, but I think that will change at a certain point. However, it's good that they're thinking about it. Let's see. Jake Fever said them jits ain't like that. Oh, you'd be surprised. They are outdoing. That's why I said this is why when I focus on college students and high school students, a lot of time, like in Miami with 5,000 role models, at Florida Memorial, at North Carolina Central, at my alma mater, NC State, at Bitcoin summer camps that I've taught, and right now, Bitcoin STEM. For those of you, let me go ahead and make this announcement. I'll be one of the lead teachers for Bitcoin STEM at the Bitcoin Conference 2024. We're actually having a 2-day camp for kids where they have learning STEM as well as Bitcoin. So Bitcoin plus STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. They'll be doing 3D printing. They'll be playing Minecraft for Bitcoin. They'll be creating the artwork of Satoshi. It's a lot of things that are going in. So if you are going to that conference, if your kid is 12 and under, bring them to the 2-day camp. They'll have their own lightning market as well. All of that stuff is going to be there. So when I'm telling you, it's already happening. It's just you don't know these kids. Most people don't talk or teach kids. They don't know what's going on. Half the people don't even know what's going on in their children's life. You don't know what's in your child's phone. They on Finsta. They on they on whatever sites they want to be on. You don't even know what's going on in their phone. So I'm telling you, when I'm talking to these kids and the ideas that they have and the ability to do it, coupled with AI, because again, you got to think. I'm learning AI as much as I can. I don't have as much time. Think about a college kid that's got all day. You got one class in the morning at 9 a.m. You got the rest of the day off. You got 12 hours to learn about AI, during the day. They're going to speed things up very fast, and you all are not ready for it. I'm sorry. The same way the class of Bitcoiners came in and shocked the boomers with this new money, these kids, I'm telling you, they're going to shock you with the ability to couple their experience in life with technology, with AI, and create solutions very fast. I mean, I'm pumping out solutions with kids every month. That's going to be sort of what happens when I transition to Professor Zay in my older years. So that's going to be very fun to watch. So again, trust me, it's coming. A lot of the older people, y'all are just too busy to understand that this is happening on a daily basis. In fact, there was a white paper that came out last week showing how to use ordinals on the Lightning Network. Now, does it work? I don't know, but the technical white paper looks good so far. I've only read the first 2 pages, but that's a technological innovation that may not even become popular for another 6 months, maybe next year, but it's already out. So again, a lot of this is happening. Let's see. Local TX just in time inventory. Nah, man, Florida stuff. That's Florida shit, man. Jits. That's like kids. Let's see who else we got. PFC Wells. I agree with you on that one, Zay. We'll see that within the next coming years for sure. Let's see. Hybrid 17. Do you like valued added tax? Just from a standpoint of taxation, period, I don't like any taxation that's not voted on by citizens. No taxation without representation. We already fought a war over this, people. I mean, motherfuckers was dumping tea for 3% tax, and now people getting 30% tax on their income and ain't doing nothing about it. Y'all, hey, our ancestors, they were some fighters. Hey, we looking like some whole ass niggas out here actually right now, paying 30% for all our stuff, and then paying property tax, estate tax, excise tax, generational, estate, all that tax. It's just taxation out the wazoo, sales tax every time you buy something. So that tax is a mother. So I don't want to add a value added tax just to appease regulators to make it feel like they're getting money for this private organization. However, if it is voted on by a group of people, I think local taxation should be the priority, where it's like, all right, I do want my roads paved. I do want my trash taken out. I do want, street lights, and I want public education, and I want, clean public areas and parks. Yeah, sure. We can vote on all that. That's simple. You can do that on the app for local. But when you start getting into national politics, like, do you want to send money to Argentina for Javier Milei to join the NATO? And you'd be like, hell no, I don't want that. Do you want to send $95 billion to Ukraine and Israel so that they can fight a war that we technically started? No, I don't want to do that either. Do you want to fund the National Deforestation Act for $2 billion? Hell no. Like, you would just be pushing no on everything. That's why I think that idea on the blockchain won't happen. So a lot of the taxation, and also just to throw it out there, a lot of your taxation doesn't go towards the budget. They print the money and they spend it on what they want. Look very deep into where your taxation, where your taxes go. So a lot of the local and state is the actual use case for your money. So let's see. If you know, I'm a kid at heart. Can you teach me too? That's one of the things that we're actually trying to implement, is that if students are entered into these camps with Bitcoin STEM, with the Bitcoin summer camp that I run, we actually want to do free classes for the parents, because at a certain point, if your kid is going to be using Bitcoin and using wallets, you have to know what's going on, because technically we need your permission to sign off on it, because they're not 18. So if you got a 15-year-old that's using Bitcoin and he's playing games earning Bitcoin, he's sending the Lightning wallets and he's selling goods for it, you need to know what's going on. And at a certain point, if you understand it, you can start giving different things like their chores and anything that they do as far as grades. If you want to give them allowance in Bitcoin, you can teach them about saving, teach them about keeping a ledger. You can show them the meme pool like I just showed you, where they can view blocks and they can say, hey, right now is not a good time to transact because fees are $258 for a medium transaction. I'm going to buy that tomorrow. That shows low time preference, that savings, all that stuff. So that's great. Zay, do you have a 1-hour Bitcoin one-on-one course that you have tailored for kids? Yes, we actually, it's probably a little bit longer, but we're trying to open source it now. So we're building open source, and then anybody can use it. However, the activities that you'll be able to do, that'll be based on different locations. So even though Jay-Z and Jack Dorsey stole the Bitcoin Academy from me, trust me, I got something even bigger than that. But yeah, we got open source course where we're building that just for kids, and that will be a part of what we do in July in Nashville. So Jay Fever, I'll be focused on AI. I ain't even gonna lie, man. Every time I see AI, I still think Allen Iverson. That's not gonna go away for a little bit. That's my age talking a little bit, but I still see Allen Iverson. Even though they gave my man that small ass trophy, small ass statue. That's my boy. Let's see, Alapio, where can I get a loan for my Bitcoin? I forgot what it was called. Oh, Unchained.com and Lend, L-E-D-N, Lend. Those are the two places where you can get loans. Multi-sig, you control 2 out of 3 keys, so they can never steal it. Even if the company goes down, you can still get your Bitcoin from them. So let's see. Board and Stone was awesome on Friday. Shout out Nick Play. Oh yeah. Talked to King this morning. He didn't say anything about it, but he was probably still high from then. But but shout out to Board and Stone. I believe in a flat tax of 0 with high inflation. That is our tax. Inflation inflates away our paycheck and savings. Yeah, I mean, and Jake Fever, I love that you said that. Get out of debt. That nothing the government does matters. Yeah, that's definitely there. Get out of debt. Get a farm. Make your money and do what you want with it. But let's see, flat tax. This is one thing I've said even as a joke. I don't believe there's any tax that should go above 10%, especially if we call ourselves a Christian nation. It's like, how you gonna take more money than Jesus, nigga? Damn, that's more than 10%. Like, it shouldn't be anything more than that. 10% tithes is 10%. Like, even that is pushing it. But if we gonna do anything, like, and you call yourselves a Christian nation, which is not, but we call ourselves that, you can't charge more than Jesus. Who do you think you are? Like, god damn. So if we talk about flat tax, I would agree to that, but it would have to be voted on. I want an actual vote where actual people have to vote on the tax, not representatives going and voting for us and these subcommittees and other committees. That's garbage. Plus, it has to be actually owned by the public. The IRS is a private entity. That's a private company, people. You are not paying to the U.S. government and they're taking your money and then they're spending. That's bullshit. Paying to a private company, people. So again, these things are, if we're going to be a civil nation, I lean more libertarian, but if we are going to have civility, then these things need to be in place where there's open transparency. So I'm going to end it there. But our last story really quick, Man City and OKX released limited edition jerseys tied to rare NFTs. All right. So again, we see use cases for NFTs for companies that want to introduce them. Again, like I said, the NFT projects that take off are usually people who already have a product and already have with whatever business they're in. So Man City, we all know them. Let's see, a limited number of Manchester City's Unseen City shirts NFTs are algorithmically linked to physical edition jerseys featuring hand-painted artwork and match day experiences. So this Premier League football club is launching a new non-fungible token collection that will allow fans to win a limited number of unique jerseys and match day experiences. The Unseen City Shirts campaign is the latest move in a long-term partnership with crypto exchange OKX. Users can mint the digital collectibles on the OKX app, which offers a chance to win redesigned commemorative football shirts depending on the rarity of the NFT. So, again, very short story there. You get the point. They got some shit that's exclusive. They may see you buy it, it's rare. You can resell it on the secondary market, or you can use it for different match things that they'll implement. Maybe discounts on tickets. Maybe you get the actual physical product. That's what NFTs are becoming. Get some motion, drop an NFT line, get paid off of that. So you're getting paid two ways, and then give your fans something that they can collect. So shout out to you guys. Great show today. Again, today is what, Monday, April 22nd. Hopefully the fees stay where they are. Hopefully even a little bit lower if possible. But shout out to everybody. Post-Halving. We are in Epoch 5, which should be very interesting. So great Monday. Have a great one. And cheers.